What a situation. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson laid it all out, joining me yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures on Hunter Biden's overseas business deals and the corruption from the FBI and the media. Joining me right now is former Arkansas governor, presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Mike, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. Your reaction to what you just heard?
Well, the shock is just stunning, but it's not so much the shock of what's on Hunter Biden's laptop and the compromise. The shock is the lack of curiosity on the part of the media. They'd be all over this in a normal time when media people looked for winning Pulitzers and trying to do real journalism. They're not doing it. I just can't imagine how they can ignore this story, why they're not asking the question, who is the big guy that Hunter Biden talked about who's getting 10% of the spoils? And if it isn't Joe Biden, then tell us who it is. But it's pretty obvious who it is. And it's just an amazing thing to me, Maria, that we have one of the biggest scandals in American history. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that with hyperbole. This is one of the greatest scandals potentially in all of American history, going all the way to the White House and our intel agencies. And only a handful of Republican legislators seem to give a rip about it.
It's absolutely insane. Influence peddling has been going on here while Joe Biden has been in the Senate and certainly vice president, apparently. The Washington Post is out with a new op-ed from the editorial board, and they're calling for a public reckoning over the media's handling of the Hunter Biden laptop story. In it, the board raises this question, Governor: why is confirmation of a story that first surfaced in the fall of 2020 emerging only now? The board noting that the New York Times, the Washington Post has only now confirmed the laptop is real, years after the New York Post broke the story. Of course, it's something that we've been reporting on this program now for years. And, Governor, it comes after the other massive big lie of Russia collusion with Donald Trump. So, yeah, you say this is the biggest story on American history after the other biggest story where, you know, the Democrats got half of the country to believe that a sitting president was colluding with Russia, and it was all a lie.
A lie that resulted in 2 impeachments, a lie that resulted in millions of dollars of taxpayer money spent needlessly and foolishly, and a lie that ended up dividing the country even more than it was already divided. In the meantime, I just find it amazing that the Washington Post has the audacity to say, how come this story is just coming out? Well, maybe they ought to look in the mirror. The fact is, they buried the doggone story, just like the New York Times, just like every major network in America buried the story. Some of them knew there was something there, but they wouldn't report it because they thought that it might help Donald Trump. They forgot that the real issue was not helping Donald Trump. It's helping America. It's helping our country have an honest government. And they hid it. Twitter banned it. Facebook banned it. YouTube banned it. Who's going to account on those platforms for what they did and how it changed the trajectory of the nation and its elections?
Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely incredible. And then you've got policy decisions really creating a bad situation for Americans. Energy prices soaring, gasoline up 38% in the month of February compared to the same time in 2021. The national average for a gallon of gas is now $4.18, Governor. You say single adults cannot afford food, medicine, and gas to get to the doctor. The president's prescription is to go out and buy a $70,000 electric car. I mean, how is it possible that they are missing what's important to the American people as they drive through their climate change agenda?
Because not one of them actually gets out of a car, goes over to the pump, puts a credit card in the pump, and squeezes the handle while they're looking at that $4.18. They're being squired around by government drivers and government cars that are big gas-guzzling cars, and frankly, they don't care. They don't have to. But the single mom trying to get her kids to daycare and then get to work, the seniors who have to decide whether they can even take their medicine this month because it's taking care of their home, heating and cooling, they care. The word that I would ascribe to the White House and to the people in the federal government right now, obtuse. They have no sensitivity, no awareness of what people are dealing with, none.
You think the mainstream media is ever going to get their credibility back for missing all of these stories? We haven't even addressed the border, which is about to explode even worse than it's been for the last year. Will mainstream media ever get the credibility back?
Only if they wear sackcloth and ashes for 100 years or so, because they've destroyed what credibility they may have ever. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think that they care. I just don't. And it's a tragedy because you will look at story after story when they just don't seem to have any interest in integrity of journalism.
Yeah, and we've been reporting that Elon Musk just took a 9.25% stake in Twitter. So we'll see how much influence he has there. Governor, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for weighing in on all of that. Former Governor Mike Huckabee.